My name is Letty. I come from Isa, the fifth largest village in the southern province of the Cole matriarchy. 118 years ago, an unknown man presented himself to the Council of Mothers, saying he carried a message of the utmost importance. He claimed his name was Noll, and that he did not come as an ambassador from any of the known nations. However, many among the mothers thought him a Levantine, a Walat, Thalit, Solen, or some other inhabitant of the Levant, and so it was with suspicion that they prepared to listen to him. Noll expressed himself with ease. He observed the customs and rules of the council as though he had spent his whole life in Cole. The mothers returned his respect, listening to his speech without interrupting him, as tradition demanded. The debates of the council were not recorded in that era, which is why it is difficult to give an exact transcription of their words. Here is an approximation. Honored mothers, I stand before you with good intentions. The wisdom of the council members is legendary, and I hope to earn the honor of your trust, though I must keep secret a great number of things. I cannot say why I am here, nor where I come from. I am bringing my message to all of the rulers of the known world, and I can only hope to convince them to lend credence to utterances I know to be strange. At last, here is my declaration. For a purpose that I cannot make known, I ask that you choose one person from your people, one who is reputed to be among the wisest, and one worthy of representing you. I will meet her on the island of G at dawn on the day of the owl, along with the emissaries from the other nations. We will be safe thereafter, so there is no need to bring too great an escort. They cannot accompany us on our voyage anyway. The wise one whom you choose will only be absent for a few decades. A boat shall await her return at the same place on the day of the earth. What will happen upon her return is not yet written. I can only tell you that an important decision will have been made, and that the outcome will be shared with you. I have finished, and I sense your questions. Do not ask them in vain, honored mothers, as I cannot answer them. Noll was still questioned, of course, but he maintained his silence as he had promised. Once he had departed, the mothers discussed which action to take. Some of the younger ones, whose husbands were still fighting alongside the Lorelian troops, demanded that they hunt down the stranger, or hold him prisoner until they learned more. Others thought they had been confronted by a harmless madman, and that nothing should be done in response to the incident. Only some of them, driven more by curiosity than by anything else, judged that sending an emissary to G would not cost much, and that it would be the best way to shed light on the mystery. They proceeded to vote, and it was this wise proposal to send an emissary that was finally agreed upon, under the condition that Noll indeed transmit his message to the other nations. Confirmation came from the Junine ambassador, who some days later reported a similar encounter between Noll and an assembly of barons from the small kingdoms. Then it was time to choose the emissary. It seemed obvious to the mothers that the wisest people of the matriarchy were members of the council. Furthermore, choosing one of their own allowed them to act with total secrecy. All of them turned respectfully toward the ancestress, who was the wisest of all. Fortunately, shrewd as she was, she knew she was too old for this adventure. Hence, she asked for volunteers to come forward, not those who called themselves wisest, which would have been vain, but those who considered themselves to be the most devoted. 4 mothers offered to represent Cole, and Tiramis was elected from among them. Tiramis is my ancestress. She is the mother of the mother of the mother of my mother, the grandmother of my grandmother. It was decided that a man would accompany her for protection. They chose Yon, who was the 3rd son of the ancestress, and who they knew to be strong and devoted. To convince Noll to accept the 2nd emissary, Yon was put forth as the representative of the masculine population of Cole, which could have been true after all.